you guys all took first aid. Y'all have first aid kits, right? And they just were like, no, like we don't.
This creator's talking about going out rock climbing for the first time and mentioning that she had some first aid training. And they were like, yeah, you could save us, right? And she's like, oh, maybe. You guys have first aid kits, right? And as you saw, they didn't. And her post is about some of the things that a person should have when doing some kind of adventure in the mountains, a baseline first aid kit. I think it's a pretty low bar, honestly, to get some first aid training. The wilderness first aid class that's offered all over the place is like 3 days. The next higher level would be a wilderness first responder. You can do that as a hybrid type thing, those or straight through. I initially did it straight through. I quite liked that. But my kid is currently doing one that's hybrid. And it's, 5 to 9 days, depending on how you do it. Ski patrollers have something called outdoor emergency care. This can be offered through a ski resort, usually to patrollers, but there's some ways to take it without going through a ski resort. And of course, CPR, things like that are pretty easy to get. These are pretty baseline for people spending a bunch of time in the mountains. And think about the fact that when you're choosing your partners, that if nobody has any first aid training at all, or they're just like, yeah, I'm my first aid merit badge, well, that's kind of nothing really. You really have to be trained as an adult. I'm not going to get into what should be in a first aid kit because it really depends on how far you are from the car. The more remote you are, probably the bigger kit you need to have. But you also need some kind of communications plan in case something goes horribly wrong. We like to use the acronym PACE, Preferred, Alternate, Contingency, and Emergency. So preferred might be some kind of satellite messaging system like an InReach. Alternative might be your cell phone. Contingency could be a radio. Emergency could be a runner. These are some ways that you could get help if you need. If there's a catastrophic injury, you really want to be able to call for help for sure after stabilizing the person or during the stabilization.